Orbital supply drops to wreak new havoc. PlayStation mod capacity to get a big bump. And some interesting decisions with Ark Aquatica's release next week. You're right, kids, it's Raasclark and welcome to your regular Ark community news. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share around, and let's get into it. So, with the arrival of Community Crunch 466, we've got a bit of an update on what to expect over the next week or so. Initially kicking us off with a reminder that the Summer Bash event is running and will be running until July the 17th. So, if you've got any intentions to take further advantage of those 2x rates and, of course, the cosmetics that arrive with this event, then get in soon before it ends. Followed by a reminder that the Day 1 Lost Colony pre-order content exists, and Lost Colony is still on track for a December release date, although I'm sure it was originally November. But, you know, that's neither here or there. And then we get into what's upcoming soon, starting off with the OSD adjustments to Astraeos, because up until now, people have been able to build around OSD locations and not worry too much about their base being blown into smithereens when an OSD lands, which should never have been the case, because you know what happens when an OSD normally lands, don't you? And it was acknowledged had to be changed, and it's coming to Astraeos soon. So kicking off from July the 15th, any nearby player-built structures within Impact will be destroyed. I'm honestly amazed it took this long for this to arrive, but hopefully you moved or are moving before the 15th. Following on with some FPS issues that I and many of you out there have been experiencing, I've definitely noticed some frame drops in the last week or so. Wildcard believe this was owed to a VRAM allocation issue and have already rolled out a fix that hopefully should have resolved the issue. If you are still having frame rate issues, do comment below, let me know. But with a lot of different reasons outside of simply how the game runs and how you run the game causing frame rate issues, is this going to really create an ambiguous answer or anything at all? I'm not sure. But big news, great news for PlayStation survivors out there especially. You've been waiting for this one for a heck of a long time, since Christmas last year. Xbox got a mod storage increase, and since then, I assume Wildcard have been in negotiations with PlayStation to create a mod expansion, mod storage expansion resolution for you, and finally it's hitting you next week. Pumping that space up to 30 gigabytes, which is an absolute necessity when you think of some of the bigger and larger mods that are being rolled out as we speak, with even more coming out, and of course you wanting to install as many as you can, especially if joining some cross-play server that's hosting for both Xbox and PC and has a giant amount of mods that are running that you need to install yourself. You can now do that. 30 gigs, a decent enough number to at least capture all of the content we're still missing out on arriving to ASA, because that's the thing at the moment. There's still maps, still creatures, still content to come to the base game of ASA that aren't available just yet, but in modded form. Pretty much everything you know from ASE is now available in some modded form to download if you want to capture all of that missing content before they arrive officially to the main game. However, if you're still playing the original game, Ark Survival Evolved, well, it turns out our sources were true. It's coming, it's happening, dropping next week on July the 15th, with a very questionable trailer that was revealed to announce this, and have since then started revealing dossiers for some of the creatures coming to Ark Aquatica. Start with this. This stuff would have been much better than the original announcement trailer. I don't know why they didn't use this. At least it's showing some content. But the quality of all of these trailers that have just recently been released just seem a bit off. They're definitely a heck of a lot better than the AI trailer that somehow got approved to be released to the public. But there's just something a bit unpolished about these trailers. The framing, the timing, the overall sequencing and construction of each and every one of these videos just feels like whoever's filming this isn't too sure what they're meant to be filming. Like what is this camera angle, man? I don't know, man. I don't understand. And again, I've said this before, and trying to at least look at it from the perspective as simply an ASE player that can't play ASA. Content is content, and it seems you've got a lot of it coming to you. And some elements do look good. Some elements of the map do look nice. And I won't repeat again why I've got so many issues that this PC exclusive only DLC is coming to Ark Survival Evolved. But what has been noticed and really does baffle me is the fact they're selling the DLC as family friendly. It's a 16 rated game. Like, you can't say the word family friendly when it's 16 rated. You can't do that. I don't understand, especially when you go on to explain in the same Steam post that it's mature content, specifically violence. But hey, it's family friendly, so all good there. And I do think, as we said before, this marketing strategy using luminous suns to drop in theaters during Jurassic World screenings and trying to target perhaps an audience that are less aware of the history of ARK is perhaps the route Snail Games are deciding to go. But they did drop a press release on the launch with a few questions answered of what to expect. The first one, of course, being price points, and there we go, it's confirmed. It will cost an amount of money, and it's $14.99 on Steam, with a clever tactic of reducing that price to $8.99 at launch. Which will be running for 2 weeks. And well, come on, we all knew there was going to be a price associated with this. Whilst it's celebrating 10 years of ARK, there's only one reason why this exists, because there are ASE players still out there, a lot of ASE players still out there. So there's an opportunity to capitalize on those and offer you something to play if you're on PC. Console players, you can't play it though. God knows. And with that, let's stick 2 fingers up to wildcards and say, yeah, official server support's coming with this. Even though you sunsetted all of the official servers for ARK Survival Evolved when announcing ARK Survival Ascended, we're going to make you look like absolute numpties and bring out official server support for this. But with the caveat, limited time official server support, with the potential for extension. I can see myself getting a bit pent up as I'm reading this, but hey, why release it, right? That's the question that's on everyone's lips. Why release Aquatica if the focus is shifting to ASA? Despite you not explaining, it's you, Snail Games, making Aquatica and not Wildcards because they're making ASA. Well, it's all to celebrate the franchise's 10-year anniversary. Of course it is. Why else are we making this? With a big question that's a real concern for a lot of people out there, because let's face it, all, if not most modders have moved on to ARK Survival Ascended to make mods there and have no plans to go back to ARK Survival Evolved to fix any mods that might get broken as a result of this, which could be a possibility. But Snail Games say don't worry about that, it's fine. A new dev kit and mod testing tools will be released to help modders update their content in the hopes of minimal disruption to gameplay. That to me says yes, it is going to break mods, a lot of them, and as a result a new dev kit update is required to update your mods to be in line with whatever happens with this. Honestly, if you're an exclusive ARK Survival Evolved player, I think you need to brace yourself. If that modder doesn't intend to come back, you may find any and every mod gets broken as a result of this. That wording there is definitely concerning me, and just a real shame that this could be somewhat of a legacy left with Evolved players and their opinion of Evolved. But we'll see. With a surprising question that they threw into their FAQ, but I guess many people asked this, did Atlas inspire this? Because, well, Atlas is at sea, this is a sea map, and they did say there is some minimal inspiration, as some of the devs working on Aquatica have also worked on other Snail titles, but the project is original. It's a bit of a moot point there, really. I know Atlas exists. We all know Atlas was originally ARK, or was going to be some extension of ARK. Remember, the main menu of ARK was within Atlas before it got patched out. And let's be even more brutally honest, a lot of the content that is coming to ASA is obviously influenced by Atlas. And I'm welcome to it because, you know, Atlas had so much potential, was such a great game, and just, oh, what happened? So if at the very least I can experience some of the content from Atlas in ARK, I'm happy to see that. And why not, I guess, Evolve players, you get to experience Atlas assets too, as it seems to be expected. With the next question being a complete nothing burg, what happens to ASE in the future after Aquatica? Well, apparently, according to Snail Games, there are currently no additional content plans, but I guarantee if this sells well, they're going to release more content for Survival Evolved. Why wouldn't they? If they get a decent chunk of money out of this one, they're going to bring it more to it. It's common business sense. But console players, you get nothing. And then the rest of the questions go on to why was ARK 2 referenced? Well, because, you know, ARK 2 is a thing. ARK and ARK 2, you can't talk about ARK without talking about ARK 2, especially in press releases. It's going to happen, and we'll see maybe that sequel in a few years' time, maybe 5, 6, 10, 20 years' time, with perhaps the most surprising reveal with this one, and why perhaps I've almost reserved myself on crapping on Aquatica as much as I have up until recently, with the knowledge that there are well-respected third parties contributing to Aquatica, and I don't want to talk ill of them because, you know, Gareth Coker, the main man, there's not a bad word to be said about Gareth Coker, and he's of course contributing scores to Aquatica. I'm amazed to see it, as well as other people out there like Jakari, who made the trailer out there. There are some seemingly innocent third parties to this, and not everybody making this should be tarnished with the same brush, but the powers that be that are doing this know what they're doing. There's a reason why this whole giant Ark Aquatica release date announcement didn't make a mention on the main community crunch. Think about it, look at it, why is there not a word there? Let's remind ourselves once again, and I'm even more fascinated on what state this is going to release in. Whilst I won't be covering this at all, I'm obviously very intrigued in what a third party can do to a legacy of 10 years of Ark and maybe deliver something. But talking of delivering, the regular mod showcase rolled out, showing off a bunch of cool, awesome mods that have just recently released, including this one, the Areotherium. Have I pronounced that right? I am pretty interested in. But what I love about this creature in particular, made by Tristan Dark Edge and a bunch of other people out there, is that Dark Edge did a video surrounding this creature called Can We Make a Creature Mod in 1 month, with a well intriguing educational adventure into what they experienced, what they wanted to achieve, and how this creature came about within that allotted time, which I'd really encourage you to go and watch if you've got any remote interest in development, mod development of creatures for Ark. This was definitely something that inspired me to maybe try and make my own. I don't know if I've got the talents that these guys have. I don't know. I don't think I have, but go and watch it. I really would encourage you to if you've got a keen interest in this. And that's your lot, but I'm really interested to hear, are you going to be playing Ark Aquatica? Please do comment below, and let's be a bit neutral about this, while I'm firmly on the side of hell no, not touching this with no one stick because of what this represents, which is for me just at its basic premise taking credit for somebody else's 10 years of work and making money out of it, and that's exactly why I won't be touching it. I am really interested in the people that are planning to play this, and I'll be watching you from the sidelines and seeing how this experience goes, and most definitely probably reporting about that and what it breaks, because I think it's going to break quite a bit. Mods in particular, I would get worried about now. We'll see. Until the next one, my name's Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and as always, peace out.